Greetings. All right. Thank you for joining us on this broadcast. All right. This is Anunnaki, the human computer. If I can remember right, as if I gotta look at it here. Yeah. Archon, Atlantean Archon, healing timeline, something like that. I can't see the title, but either way. So this is going to go into a little bit different directions. I'm going to connect to Anu. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Like the father of the Anunnaki, or he's the father of Enki. I feel like that's a method to go to. There's other beings connected to it, but we'll just go to this. We'll just go in this direction. So, all right, I'll give you a slight update of what's going on. We just did the mentorship. That'll be uploaded Wednesday, hopefully. Okay, SimonTar.com. We have private sessions. We have the scheduler, overnight channel, Google Hands, Zoom, and channeling by phone. We have the shop here. I think I'm still on the 11th. Same situation here. Other channels here's a do recommend, social network, Rabbit, and early access. All right, thank you for support. Okay. Yeah, the mentorship was 2-hour channeling. Connected to Enki, and eventually this will be a public the recorded video to members first, but it's still processing. So yeah, it seems like it's a little bit. No, that's right. It's a little bit out of focus, but it's not a big deal. So okay. Blessings. Okay, we're going to do Anu, and I have an idea where this is going to go. I'll just kind of let them say their take. So, and it might be maybe Palladian or Energy or somebody else might come through too, possibly. So, yeah, it's a little bit. I'm gonna try something out. Yeah, there we go. It's just oh well. Maybe one day they'll get it fixed. And maybe not. Okay. Here we go. Blessings. Here we go. Greetings to you. This is Anu. Greetings with Anunnaki. Greetings to your society and your development. It is just a very exciting time to be alive. Of course, not the easiest time to be alive, as you're always learning how to be more of a galactic being, of looking beyond a third dimension reality, beyond the physical existence that's been brought to you. So yes, as you awaken, but also your timelines coincide with you. They connect with you to open you up to higher dimensional idea systems, connect to other planets, other universes, but mostly other planets to get an idea, feel the consciousness of it, because you're downloading a great deal from other realities constantly. It's us not making it clear in this physical realm because you're not used to connecting to it. It's basically you might know yourself on a third dimensional level to a degree, but it's also a multi-dimensional self that has not fully showed itself too clear. And that's where everything gets more complicated. Even with the Atlanteans, they realized they can learn a great deal more as a third dimensional being, so they started making mistakes. And they knew exactly what they were doing. They kind of shut themselves down. And the higher, there's different levels of Atlantean beings, a higher dimensional Atlantean being and a more of a fourth dimensional. The higher ones knew what was going on. It was essential for their soul growth. Of course, there are Arcturians are involved. Even Palladian beings had other beings in the higher dimensions, of course, knew what was happening. So there are Archon realities, Archon hives. Basically, your Archon energies are, you can say, your libraries. Not your physical libraries, but the knowledge from other worlds that are here, from other realities. A lot of it's like an Archon chest, you can say. A lot of it's in crystal energies. Basically, it formed, once again, the grid around your planet. It's basically created what you call a matrix, your reality. The Archon beings, there's different types of Archon, and yes, they do open up the lower realms, but that's to keep you in the third dimension. So it's like a gateway. And a lot of the Archons are involved with much of the portals on their planet also. They're higher dimensional beings, but they're also higher dimensional Archon beings also. They just don't get the love that they feel like they... I'm not sure if they really think they deserve it, but they don't get the love that they can have. Archon beings are usually shapeshifter beings. A lot of them don't have they have a conscience, but they don't conscious of what they do. It's like, yes, when they put their mind to it, they can accomplish anything. And if they're going to shut down your world and bring a third dimension, they're going to do it. And many of you that want to open up into fourth dimensions realize another reason why your aliens are not here is the Archon presence here. It has a lot to do with the contract that's set up here, but also there's other reasons behind it that they're not going to go into detail. There's always somebody else is involved in keeping your world in the third dimension. Does it mean you're going to stay here forever? No. Many of you are evolving, and many of you are in fourth and fifth dimensions as we speak, and continue to do so. But some that go into the higher dimensions, like talked about, Palladian beings for that matter, are not always seeing the full picture. Yes, they might see a positive Palladian, but there's also other versions too. It doesn't mean they are part of the demonic energies either. No. Just not everybody sees things the same way. Some humans, because you're in such a hellish environment, you want to look at the aliens as like the top tier beings, and nothing can go wrong. They're always perfect. And that is nice, but that's not how it really works. But when we say this, and there are higher dimensional beings, of course, but many of them are not. And those are the ones that are going to be connected to your planet, most likely, in the physical form. Because they understand you very well. They understand the vibrations. They're higher vibrational beings that always understand your planet. You have to reach it to their level. And many are not quite there yet, as you can see. Especially if you're talking about the news all the time. Even if it's alternative news, even if it's galactic news, it's news. Usually news has a lower vibration about it. So some that think they know everything, well, they have a lot to learn. Well, that's why they call it a galactic war. And there is a silent war here, of course, as you're going through your health. So what's happening is you're experiencing eventually, so you're in a health crisis. But the idea is to go to more of a health conscious, so you can heal yourselves. There will be a time in your lifetimes, they're not saying when this will happen, but it'll be a time when humans are fully healthy again. You have some time for that. There's a lot to learn of where you're at. It will be kind of scary to happen instantly, but you will have that timeline occur. It's necessary for you to, you want to connect to higher dimensions, don't you? Well, you have to be healthy to do that. It does help on many levels, but realize the healthier you get, the more sickness you feel in the world. That's where you can bring your energy. That's what you're doing right now. Many of you are bringing up your vibrations, that you're healing the earth as you do so. And many humans here, yes, are going to go to other versions of Earth, no doubt. Many of them are already going, but there's much more to go. Your December is a major turning point of where things are going to go, of course. There's November, kind of, but December plays a big role, a major shift. As for, yeah, because your years, yes, your next year doesn't really start until, yes, February, March, April. So, but your December is kind of how you are in this year decides what's happening in December year. So it means the decisions that are made between now and December, and they'll set the agenda for the next year. We do see many that are going to not have to wear face coverings anymore. That's going to lessen itself throughout the year, this year and mostly next. Now, there'll be propaganda, fear. Your program humans are going to be the ones wearing it the most. But it is going to die down. Not 100% in all areas. Some places will get rid of it altogether. But it will start to dilute. We can't say it'll be 100% everywhere, but the breakdown will occur. It's already happening currently. It just is a paranoia right now because the war has just started. As you proceed through the war, it's like, you know what, we're panicking over nothing. And of course, your governments have been hijacked. Of course, what's new about that? They've been hijacked for thousands of years, actually, even before there were your governments here in our current state of mind. But to understand more about the heart, the Archon presence here is they are actually a neutral being, depending on the Archon, of course. But once they set a system up, they stick with it. Now, alien beings can go into your reality and do what they want to do with it, work with it, and even eventually take this system down as it's been worked on previously and currently. So you are opening up doorways to an alien presence. As for the timing of that, still is unclear, but you are getting closer to an alien presence once again. You will continue to do so. As much humans fight it, say it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen, but the more you believe it'll happen, it will bring in enough of new energy, even if it is only a few to do so. As some of you are manifestors, and you know you can manifest anything. Alien energies being brought here into physical is a little bit more. Doesn't mean they're going to clean things up. Doesn't mean they're going to take you to school or hold your hand. But the presence here, some of you are manifestors of galactic energies, and you know who you are. You can connect to ships. Doesn't mean you can't connect to physical beings either. So we are listening, we are watching, we are feeling the vibrations of your earth. We're just basically putting opportunities out there for you, but it's up for humanity to choose to do so. Well, people are, they're not afraid. They're afraid. Because that's going to happen, things like that, but it can occur. It depends on the human, of course. Also, your spirit beings are still going through their own healing. As you are rehabilitating yourselves, but also the spirit world. The spirit world is going through its own war of itself as you're working through to heal their own problems. Because yes, because they're in spirit, it's a perfect place. Doesn't mean they have their own issues. And that's why you're here. They can see their issues. It's like a problem in spirit is almost like a big zit on their face. But it's not a zit, but it is a problem. Like they're insecure, they're impatient all the time. It's kind of like having a zit on their face, a big one. And they know they have a problem, but they just don't know how to fix it. That's where your world comes in. That's where alien beings are created, to fix the problem in spirit. It's never ending. You can be at where you're comfortable with yourself, but there's always room for improvement on all levels. Of course, when you're in a world that's descending to many of your species because of comfort levels, you get comfortable, you get controlled by a system, you go backwards, as you're experiencing now. Your media is developed to push people backwards into ascension mode. This world's been doing it for thousands of years, so nothing new there. But that means that the souls here are not ready to ascend. Because you can always have ascension energies. Doesn't mean you have to go by those rules. You can do whatever you want. You can change your way. Just because people show you chocolate doesn't mean you have to eat it. I mean, they show you candy doesn't mean you have to eat all the candy. But your world is known to do so. So it's all on how, you can call it alien beings manipulating society. And yes, that's true. That's to make you better beings in the universe. So it's to make you better in the long run. Yes, we all have issues. And it is true that you have your elite, your Illuminati beings is perfect. Well, they're not perfect. Yes, they are the perfect testers of your world. They're chosen to test your world. Doesn't mean they don't have their own issues. They might be testing you to improve you, but that doesn't mean they're there to improve themselves. So yeah, you might pass every test on this planet and become just a perfect being. It's perfection in your own eyes, so you feel like you need to be. And the elite are the most backward people in your universe. But they got you where you are, and that's all that matters. A lot of teachers are not always the best to be taught, just like doctors aren't the best to be doctored, not the best to be patients. So a lot of your Illuminati are ultimate teachers, but doesn't mean that they act the part. As you know, many spiritual people, they say all these things, and then they get home and they're eating horrible and looking terrible and cussing everybody out. But you have to tell everybody love and light when the light is on. Same thing as your Illuminati. As you get to understand all these things, your Illuminati be more and more clear, because those are the teachers of your Earth. They're to teach you to be better, whatever way you want to. Yes, some might wind their way there. There's nothing wrong with that. This shows that there's a lot of lessons to be learned there. That's all. So the Atlanteans knew this. They knew they were flawed. They knew they had problems. And so they countered it. They are now confronting it, as you are confronting it now. So that's very mature. Not easy, but very mature of a world like this. The world is actually maybe not the most mature planet, but it is maturing on all levels. So I might not like what everything has heard, what you hear, because sometimes because hearing things isn't, you might not always like what you hear for your own growth. Some don't always. It's all, of course, only how you say it too. But you can say it the nicest way. You can still be very hurtful. It's like, you need to brush your teeth more. It's like that can be the most hurtful thing for some people. So, all right. Blessings to you all. There's another being here. Blessings. Greetings to you. We are the felines from Sirius. Greetings to you. It is up to your world. Well, yes, it is up to your world to choose what you want for yourselves, of course. Your galactic upbringing can be easier if the world was more open-minded, but it's not for its own reasons, its own private reasons. As it's not always what the being is being channeled, or who is the channeler. What matters is the message, and not everyone is here to hear that message. To break them out of this reality, as there are certain words, certain phrases that can be used to move your Earth into the next level of consciousness, as it is moving into a consciousness, yes, but it can be sped up. Basically, for your psychic abilities to be more active, and you feel more energies around you. Anunnaki is coming through to heal themselves, but also to educate others from their perspective. The feline was brought in to heal a lot of the Anunnaki unrest, as many humans did not like the Anunnaki beings, especially they were being treated. So that's when when Anunnaki was not treating the human very well, other beings came in, Palladian, Syrian, to add much of their DNA to the human. A different form of it. There was DNA brought in, but there's more added to it. Your mannerisms, how to handle a certain situation. As yes, you have the DNA to even unlock yourself. It has not. You can unlock yourself anytime. Well, and when the time is right, of course. When you get permission, usually. As yes, this world can handle many actual super beings as human, basically like superhuman, and those that fly. It can actually handle that, but you're working towards it. They'd rather change the land energy and the earth's vibration first, and basically for the mind to open up. As the feline energies are connected to the early humans, basically how to handle an Anunnaki being, and also how to heal oneself, how to build a society within what was accepted, what humanity chose on to experience through cities or throughout out in nature, whatever it might be. Basically, survival skills through the feline was brought in. And yes, you can say felines can be very selfish, but that is necessary for, especially when you're trying to survive, that is very necessary for growth. A lot of the Syrian energies are also through spirituality to help you connect you to spirit. So a lot of early humans are very psychic, not too psychic where they can see alien beings, but their intuition was quite high at the beginning. Of at least of instincts, some abuse it, some do not, and it's still going on today. It's just not recognized so much. It's not as strong as it used to be, but it's still quite strong. As you reactivate it now, because more you're once again you're always in a survival state, but the survival state now is quite different. As you know, those that lose their job and go into the situation, their abilities to activate and bring them where they need to be, depending on the person, of course. Some would rather leave it shut down, so that they go about it from a human perspective. So yes, you still have the ability to activate yourself and to shut down yourself currently at a certain level. The Anunnaki was brought here for reasons that no one knew what to do with the human once Atlantis went down. Many beings approached the human, tried to do what they could, but the Anunnaki went about the more mature way, maybe not the most ideal way, but the most effective way. As you know, the Syrian was a reason we were connected to your world in the beginning is the idea for the human to expand on the human. But how to go about that was always up in the air of how to go about that. So now you're experiencing the hardships of it, but also you're feeling the hardships of your universe. Hardships of Orion beings. And there's also Arcturian beings have had a lot of trouble here too. Some of them are magicians. So your Orion is a lot of your university teachers. Some of them are Atlantean beings, and some of them are Orion beings. So the Orion teachings is as a lot about teaching you a version of reality, but not the full version. Some Atlantean beings are actually there for a spiritual reason. A lot of your Illuminati beings that left Illuminati are now your university teachers. Some of them are in Harvard, as you feel like an elitist energy there. So you have a little mixture of a little bit of everybody. But your elitists do play. Your elite that disconnected from the control now want to bring you, secret knowledge to the universities, what they're allowed to say at least. As your technologies are increasing, your internet came about through ex-Illuminati beings that are no longer suppressing your world, but now opening it up. So I wonder where some of your teachers come from. Of course, you'll have your Orion beings are here to suppress for now. As you learn from suppression, much of your education system will be tossed out of your world altogether. Humanity is still going through an identity crisis, as you can see, a major one. But now you're putting the pieces in, aren't you? And other worlds that come into that, worlds that come to your mind that you've never heard of. And sometimes you have to follow that energy field. Because a lot of the planets are not mentioned to you through school for obvious reasons. So you connect to your own world. And that's where you get your downloads from. That some of you are looking for. Alternative histories, but also future timelines. That's all what you believe in yourselves. All right, we must be leaving now. This is... All right, just leave it at that. Blessings.